Have you been abused, neglected, experienced ACEs, survived trauma, or lived with dysfunctional household? Before beginning today's lesson, I want to give you a quick rundown of my trauma history so you have a better understanding of the journey I have been on from trauma to healing and hope. During the first 22 years of my life, I experienced tremendous trauma, but now live a life filled with tranquility and joy. I will fill these lessons with the stories of that journey. When I was 4 years old, an intoxicated parent attempted to drown myself and my 1-year-old sister. When I was 5, I was sexually molested for the first time by a 16-year-old neighbor. When I was 9, I was sexually molested by a 19-year-old neighbor when my mom sent me for a can of soup. When I was 10, I was repeatedly molested by my choir director. When I was 14, I was sexually accosted by a religious education director in the rectory where I worked in the evenings for the priests. When I was 16, I lost my virginity to date rape. When I was 16, later that year, I was attacked by a gang of youth downtown in Cincinnati. An officer in charge of that investigation asked my parents to take me to dinner when I was 17, after the trials were over, to celebrate the convictions. My parents allowed him to do so. However, he did not take me to dinner. He took me back to his apartment where he attempted to rape. When I was 21, I was involved in a bank robbery where a gun was held to my head and my coworker was stabbed 3 times with a hunting knife. Later that same year, 3 months later, the assailants would return to our main office where I had just moved, only this time the assailant who had held the gun to my head would pull the trigger and murder my coworker. My sister was a teller, 19 years old at the time. She had just asked to go on break, and the girl that was murdered was the one who had taken her place on the teller line. I had run from the bank and hiding behind row houses behind the plaza where the bank was, and came to face to face with an armed assailant who pointed his Luger at me. However, the gun misfired, and my life was yet again spared. Also, during the first 10 years of my life, my dad physically abused my sister and myself until he received counseling and then apologized for hitting us and told us he would never hit us again. My mother was a severe alcoholic, still is to this day at 83 years old. And my dad struggled to maintain a job, so therefore we struggled with keeping food in the house at times, and with financial issues and struggles. Today's lesson is going to be on positive affirmations, and you can find all sorts of books and quotes and Google the heck out of information on positive affirmations and the positive benefits. I personally created mine using a Word document, and I went in and just used a shape, and I chose a heart since I love hearts and find them everywhere, and then made as the background of each of my hearts one of my photos that I've taken in nature, or most of them are in nature, but they're photos that I've taken, and then just inserted a text box over the top of the shape in the photo background and put in I am, and then whatever it is. Well, there's other words. So I'm going to read you a few that I have utilized and share them with you. I am strong. I am peace. I am a published author. I am making a difference in the world. I do the work I love. My income is constantly increasing. I am a motivational speaker. I am successful. I am a best friend. I am calm. I am safe. I am light. I am worthy. I am a teacher. I am a glitter shitter. That's one of my favorites. I am abundance. I am love. I love you, T. I am worthy. I am fearless. So those are just a few of the ones that I've made. And they can be whatever it is that you feel. I am tranquil. I focus on the positives. I am forgiveness. I am a light worker. I am kindness. I am beautiful. I am grateful. I live to give. I am eternal. Again, just a few of the ones that I've done and have enjoyed making. And then I keep those near my journal. And sometimes I'll just shuffle them up. I print them on some card paper and pull out one and see what I have, and then meditate on that and keep that as my thought for the day. Other times I've had people tell me they've made these for themselves and then hung them all over their house so that they have one they can look at when they're brushing their teeth, or one that they can look at when they're waiting for their coffee to brew next to their coffee maker. So whatever it is, again, that you feel compelled to do to build positivity in your life and build resilience through talking to yourself and reminding yourself of all the positives about you. So, yeah, it's just a beautiful gift to give to yourself, to practice positive affirmations. And again, part of this healing journey that you are so very worthy of. All right, well, thank you for joining me for lesson number 3. What are your positive affirmations? If you feel inclined to do so, please share with us in the comments section on YouTube or on any of the Healing Place podcast social media apps. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and you can find me on LinkedIn. All right. Thanks for sharing.